Welcome back, Math Rockstar. So we're going to be talking about a concept that uses algebraic manipulation, rearranging formula to fit your needs, and in this case it's to be to find missing sides. Let's start with perimeter and area to find missing sides in rectangles. If you recall, perimeter is 2 times length plus width. So if I rearrange it so that I need length or width, if I'm missing one of the two, if you needed width, you could solve for W. You would divide by 2 on both sides, then subtract L. So perimeter divided by 2, subtracting L minus L equals width. If you wanted the length instead, you would just replace the L for the W. If we needed to find length or width from an area given, then you would just divide the area by the other side that you already know, and you would wind up with a formula where you can just plug in the measure you know to find the side information you need. So use the appropriate solve formula and substitution to find your missing side, essentially. Let's take a look at the first example. If the perimeter of a rectangle is 30 and the length is 5, what's the width? Since perimeter is going to be using the P over 2 minus, in this case, L formula to get W, you would have 30 plugged in for P divided by 2, which would make 15, then minus the length, which is 5. 15 minus 5 makes 10. There's your width. If the area is 80 and the width is 5, what's the length? Area divided by width would make length, so it's 80 divided by 5, which is 16, would be your final answer there. Alrighty, let's go ahead and move on to using perimeter and area to do the same thing, find missing sides, but in squares this time. Let's take the same approach we did with the rectangles, where we rearrange the formula to fit our needs. If perimeter is 4 times the side and I needed to find the side, then perimeter divided by 4 would get your side. If area is side squared, which is side times itself, then in that case, if I take the square root of the area, which there's a button for in your calculator, you would be able to find your missing side. So for example, if the perimeter of a square is 12 and I'm asked what the length of its side is, I would divide the perimeter by 4, which is 12 divided by 4, and that would make 3 for the side. If the area of the square is 144, what's its side length? I would take the side length equals square root of area formula. I take the square root of 144, which I'm given, and that would make 12 when I put it in the calculator, so my side length would be 12. Moving on, now we're going to go ahead and do this same concept for triangles. So let's take a look here at the perimeter formula for a triangle. It's just adding the 3 sides. That one's kind of an easier one because all you'd have to do is subtract the 2 known sides from the perimeter to find the missing side you need. If we needed to do area formula is base times height divided by 2, then if I needed to find the base, I would multiply the area by 2 and divide the height. If I needed the height instead, I would just replace the base and the height, swap it out. So h is 2a over b, b is 2a over h. Now let's look at the information we're given for the examples. If the perimeter of the triangle is 40, 2 sides measure 6 and 18, what's the third side? You'd add 6 plus 18 to make 34 and subtract that from 40, you get the third side's 6. If I'm going to be given the area of a triangle 60 and the base is 10, what's the height? I would double the area given, so 60 times 2 makes 120, then divide it by the base, which is 10. 120 divided by 10 makes 12, and there you have it, the height would be 12. Moving on now, let's go ahead and take a look at how we're going to use circumference and area to find a missing radius. Much trickier than the other things we've done so far. Looking at the circumference formula, I have 2 times pi times r. If I manipulate that formula, then the circumference divided by 2 times pi, you'd have to put that in parentheses in a calculator if you can do the whole thing on a calculator, would be my radius. If I'm looking at area formula is pi times r squared. Then that means if I wanted the radius, I would take the area and divide it by pi first in the calculator using parentheses, and then I would take the square root of that answer. So, for example, if the radius of the circle was needed to be found and I had a circumference of 43.96, what I would do is I would take the circumference, 43.96, and divide it by the answer to 2 times 3.14, which would be 6.28. 43.96 divided by 6.28 makes 7 for the radius. If I'm looking at the second example, what's the radius of the circle? That has an area of 530.66. Radius equals square root of area divided by pi. I take the area, 530.66, and divide it by pi first, 3.14. I get an answer that is 169 even, oddly enough. And then I take the square root of that answer and get 13 as my final answer. So there's how you use the circumference and area formulas to find the radius of a circle that's missing. Next, we're going to go ahead and take that concept and apply it to diameter. What happens if I need to find a diameter instead? These concepts are highly similar to radius, it's just a little more work for the area part of things. Now, if circumference is pi times diameter, that one's actually easier. All you have to do is take the circumference divided by pi, and you don't have to do the 2 times part. So for the first example there, if the circumference of a circle is 25.12, what's the diameter? It's just 25.12 divided by 3.14. In that case, it would equal 8. Now looking at the area, since it requires radius, you'd have to follow the same steps as radius and then multiply the answer by 2. So you would have to just do the same exact thing as radius, then get the final answer divided by 2. So when I look at that, if the area of a circle is 254.34, what's the diameter? I would take area divided by pi first. 254.34 divided by 3.14. In that case, it would make 81. I take the square root, that would make 9. Once I've got the answer of 9 to get the diameter, I have to double that answer since that was the radius. So 9 times 2 would make 18. There is my diameter, 18. Now that you've seen all these different problems combined, I want you to take a moment, pause the video, read over these problems, try it on your own, and then once you have completed that, check your answer against the next slide. Alrighty, looking over these 6 problems now. The first one talks about triangle. Find the height of the triangle with an area of 36 and a base of 4. What you are going to do then is double the area given first. 2 times 36 makes 72. Then divide it by the length, which is 4. 72 divided by 4 is 18. There's your height. The next problem, find the radius of a circle with a circumference of 75.36. Well, since we're looking for radius, it would be dividing circumference by 2 times pi. 2 times pi will always equal, if you're using decimals, 6.28. So 75.36 divided by 6.28 makes 12 for the radius. Third problem, find the width of a rectangle that has an area of 72 and a length of 9. It's just going to be area divided by length to find width. So 72 divided by 9 makes 8. Find the side length of a square with a perimeter of 44. Since the perimeter of a square is 4 times side, just divide the perimeter by 4. Perimeter divided by 4 in this case is 44 divided by 4, which is 11 for the missing side. 2 more. Find the length of a rectangle with a width of 16 and a perimeter of 54. We're looking at perimeter this time. Since our perimeter formula rather is going to be adjusted to find length as perimeter divided by 2 minus width, you would plug in the 54 for the perimeter and divide it by 2 first. That's going to make 27. Then subtract your width of 16 from 27. You get 11 for the length. Last problem of this lesson here. Find the diameter of a circle with an area of 78.5. You have to first find the radius. Radius is going to be the area divided by pi, then take the square root of the answer. So it's 78.5 divided by 3.14, which makes 25. The square root of 25 is 5. Then to get the diameter for the radius, you times it by 2. 2 times 5 would make 10, and that wraps up our You Try problems. Hopefully you've done well. If not, you can always reverse back to the previous slides and see the formulas you will need. And that brings us to our tips and takeaways for this lesson. You can manipulate or rearrange using equation solving various formula to find the missing measures as needed by substituting known letters in for their respective variables. To do this, just solve for the letter you need, treat the remaining variables in the formula like constant terms, then substitute the known values in and use the order of operations to evaluate and find your missing value. You can just see the previous slides for the various formula. It's no use in listing them all here. They're kind of long, and it's something that you just kind of have to practice with a bit. And now that you've done that today, you're ready to go practice on your own. Have a great day, and hopefully you've learned something great today.